Hello everyone, welcome back to Lifelight Wisdom. I hope that you guys are all doing well. So for this reading, I am going to be tuning in to energies, given that I am filming this on September 6th and it's the full blood moon. And I'm telling you, the energies is a little bit but there are cycles ending here with the lunar eclipse coming in tomorrow. It will be visible, I think, here in Paris. That's according to ChatGPT, but I don't know. But I can tell you, like, I'm having a massive headache right now. And yeah, like, the energies are really something else. But I have an idea of what to do for this particular reading. However, I would just like to confirm by rolling the dice and seeing like what life areas and what energies we need to tune into. Okay? Thank you. And 10th house, career, legacy, sun, rising, self-identity, and this is the 10th house, so career, legacy, public life. And then for the sun, of course, is your conscious mind and the ego. This is also like, I don't think it was a coincidence that I read the first house with the sun, because that is where yourself, your identity, and your confidence lies as well. And there you go, you have the first house. And what is this? Your north node. So where are you going? Where are you expanding? Yeah, it's so beautiful that that's where our guides has led us. I will be doing the tarot afterwards. However, I will be doing some shadows as well, because this particular period, a cycle is going to end, but I think we need a little bit of a recap of the shadows that we have worked on this current cycle that is now about to come to an end. Okay, let's see. And I think this is also very helpful in order for you to see how far you've come. Okay, needs denial, self-neglect, resentment, inner depletion, texting storm, panic, over attachment, abandonment, alarm, and never enough, chronic striving, self-doubt, fear of failure, and unprocessed grief, loss, sorrow, emotional stagnation. I was going to do what I call the 5 of Cups reading, because my recent readings have always shown the 5 of Cups, because the energy for the past few weeks has been like, so wherein we are grieving something that we know we have to let go and we needed to release, and we might have already released it, but the thing is, it is kind of difficult. Why? Because it was something that we love, it was something that was familiar to us, it was something that helped us. Okay, so that is beautiful. And then thank the wounds. Okay, so I think these are the shadows that we have worked on. Okay, and now that there's like thank the wounds, I will do the wounds to wisdom affirmations as well. Okay, so this recent cycle, okay, and this is all a recap of, if you haven't watched my channel, this is all a recap of all the messages that I've channeled this past cycle. Okay, first of all, the needs denial, which is self-neglect. This is the shadow oracle deck, by the way. So the needs denial, self-neglect, resentment, inner depletion. Okay, one of the things that we learned in this particular cycle was how to take care of ourselves. That in order for us to flourish, in order for us to succeed in the things that we need to succeed in, or like we are moving towards or where we want to expand, we also have to nourish ourselves. We have to nourish before we can flourish. And now we are understanding, okay, that is the message to us of the body, and that we have to listen to our body, because it tells us signals, it tells and communicate to us what we need at a given time. Okay, with this needs denial as well, we also now understand that we need rest. We need to actually rest, because sometimes we rest, but the thing is, we don't actually rest. Why? Because we're always thinking of what's coming ahead. Okay, and there's that panic, that over attachment, that abandonment alarm. So in that, and then like chronic striving as well, this is like a little bit of that mix. So it's like self-doubt, fear of failure. These are all linked, and in doing so, like, we forget that we also have needs that we need to attend to, that our body needs our nourishment, our body needs to be taken care of. Okay, and the thing is, when we don't do that, the body resents us. Yeah, so what does it do when it resents us? It shows up in disease. Like, dis-ease is as like the opposite of ease. Like, ease, it's like you are not comfortable with where you are, and so the body kind of like communicates to you its resentment, and then your energetic field is not coherent, it's not in harmony, and sometimes it can show up in terms of pain, in terms of wounds, in terms of lessons. Okay, and I think that is one of the root that was one of the root lessons that we need to learn, that resting, like actually resting, the pauses, stopping to smell the flowers and to enjoy the view, that is part of the process. You cannot harvest anything if you do not plant anything. And where do you plant things? Like under the ground, like it's buried, you don't see it before it sprouts, right? And then you have here the texting storm. We learn to let go of the things that, just like texting is of course communication, and these are messages. So now I think we have learned how to let go of these messages, of these storylines, of these narratives that no longer serve us. Okay, we have learned that our identity is no longer linked to these messages, and it's like to these narratives that other people may have imposed upon us. And that it's like, now it's what I'm hearing here is, and it's no coincidence that I've heard a short using this kind of quote just before I hit record on this video, was that be so rooted in yourself that that no presence or absence of something can affect you, or something along those lines. And now we are learning this, because I was talking to my friend as well, because we kind of went around Paris and just like had a walk, and we were talking about how we are like the collective, the enlightened collective is now learning how to be the best companion for themselves. Because like when we are alone, when you're the only one in the room, do you like spending time with yourself? Do you like your own company? And that is a good reflection of how your energy is. Okay, if you are not so comfortable with like being alone, so whether it's like with love, whether it's with relationship, whether it's like your connection with money, for example, or with abundance, if you're not comfortable with being alone, then how can all these things that you are trying to manifest enjoy your own company, right? So now you've learned to fix your energy. Okay. Now, there was that unprocessed grief, loss, sorrow, emotional stagnation. You might have literally lost people, okay? You might have lost opportunities. You might have lost the things that you love. But there is that grief. But I think it is from One Division, this line that says, but to this effect, that grief means that we love something, okay? Grief is what remains, when something that we loved is no longer with us, okay? So in that sense, there are things that might have comforted you before. There are things that might have given you whatever form of love, or like whatever idea of love, of safety that you had, and it's okay to grieve them. And in fact, it's normal to kind of name them and be at peace with them, okay? Because that is part of, because there is that denial. That is one of the stages of grief, right? Like denial at first, like you deny that something happened to you or did not happen to you, and that is the start of the process, okay? And I think it's also that grief of not giving yourself the love that you have extended to others, or like the care that you've extended to others. And I think here it's also asking about that grace, okay? And then lastly is like with the never enough, that chronic striving, that self-doubt, that fear of failure. It's such a beautiful thing that now in this lunar eclipse, we are letting go of always never being enough. It's also that it's like being too much and never enough. It's being afraid to be a burden. It's always having that need to perform. It's having that need to be the best, like be the good girl or the good boy for other people. And that outsourcing and that never enough of always striving of like things, never being content, with things that we have. And I will reiterate as well, because this is the recap of the things that we learn in this current cycle, is the fact that abundance is being okay with what you have right now, right? It's being worthy. It's feeling worthy of the things that you have right now. It's being worthy of the things that you're trying to manifest in this current moment. And it is being worthy of luxury, of comfort, okay? Because sometimes the nervous system cannot hold that, okay? I was like, and now we have processed this, okay? Which is absolutely beautiful. So it's like now you've transmuted all these shadows into something that has now turned into your wisdom. So light returns to the broken places and release the past. In this current cycle, I think if you are watching this video, if you found this video during this lunar eclipse, and even if like you find this after the lunar eclipse, this is your sign to release the past, okay? This is your sign to let go of the things that have weighed you down, because a new cycle is starting. It is when you have your closed fist, you need to open your hands, let the things that you need to let go be gone. I understand that there has been shadows, like you might have dealt with certain shadows, and in that sense, like the shadow is like that vestige or like that remnants of those old patterns that you have lived or like you were habituated in, like that, you know, you've learned to love even no matter how toxic or like unloving it actually was for you. Now you are letting that go. Okay, so let's do the soul to wisdom. So like thank the wounds. This is gratitude, transmutation, soul wisdom. Okay, let's see. So this is the wounds to wisdom oracle cards. So what did we learn? What did our wounds, our trauma, our shadows that we have now transmuted teaches us, and like what is the wisdom that we are carrying moving forward? Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is a very beautiful new cycle, and I think it's like the moon. I don't know, there's like that moon flower. I don't know if it's like a fictional flower where like it blooms. I don't know if it's like from Avatar maybe. I don't know, I'm hearing Avatar or like, you know, like that mystical like Tibetan kind of thing. I don't know if it's a fictional flower, but I'm hearing moon flower. Okay, we are going to be blooming in this current cycle, mark my words. Okay, let me see. So what lessons have we learned? Let me just check if there was some cards that fell. No, thank you. Oh, and your scars tell a story. This is not your forever, and you are rebuilding beautifully. Your heart will smile again. And again, what did I say? It's okay to rest. That is what you've learned, okay? Like, sometimes, like, the pause doesn't mean that you're stagnant. Doesn't mean that it was a punishment for you. It is actually a preparation for you, okay? And that we also learn that things can change, you know, as much as they're like change that scares us or like because but that change is the only thing that's constant, right? But if you are in a bad place or like in a bad like something that you're not desiring, it doesn't have to be forever, okay? All right, this too shall pass is what I'm hearing, and it's now blooming. Let's see, what else, please? Anything else from this deck? Thank you. Your feelings are valid, okay? If you felt grief, okay, if you have felt grief because of the things that you lost, it's okay. And it's like sometimes you do not have, sometimes like we also have that shadow of bypassing our healing, or like feeling like, oh no, aren't I supposed to be healed by now? But as I've said, some vestiges, some remnants of old patterns that we have learned to heal from will still crawl up from time to time. But it's okay. It's okay. You've named it, you've alchemized it, and when it comes up again, like I think what is asking here is change, because that's not your forever. That doesn't have to be forever. And indeed, healing is your superpower, and sometimes healing happens quietly. What did I say? Change begins. So now it's like we are now grief. The last stage of grief is acceptance, and for things and for your life to change profoundly, you have now learned to accept what is, not what will be, what should have been, what would have been, or what was, but what is, okay? And healing is your superpower. Why? Because this is what I'm hearing. Moonflower, you grew in the dark, Okay, healing happens quietly, and it's just like a drop in the pond, but it will create a ripple effect. Okay, and this might not have been visible before, but what did I say? It's now growing. That flower is now growing. Okay, let's see what else. Let's draw some tarot cards and see like where we did do the north node, like and then we are doing the 10th house, the career, legacy, and public life. This shadows have stopped us from being seen. These shadows have stopped us from wanting to be seen. Actually, want has pushed us into isolating ourselves, of like keeping to ourselves, of dimming our light, like with this never enough shadow. But now we are ready to step in onto the stage, and like on to the public life, like communicating, networking, connecting with people. Okay, so let's see what is coming in for you, and I will do the behind the veil tarot. Okay, so what is, and this is as you can see with this, oh my god, King of Pentacles, this is exactly what I was like thinking too. But I was saying like there's like two pictures on, there's like two juxtaposed imagery in this particular deck. So what I'm hearing here is this is like a meeting, right? Like planning a lot, but now you're ready to take on the risk and the adventure, and kind of like I'm hearing here sort of a full energy, but like calculated risk here. Okay, like gambling with calculation, you know, but like it's gambling, it's like jumping and like being in an adventure, and like seeing where it leads you is what I'm hearing. Okay, so with the north node, let's see what is with your career, your legacy, and where you're heading in terms of that, and also with your connections or your networking, your public life. Okay, Two of Cups. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is, and the Chariot, where as before, like nothing, no commitment, there was no commitment. Okay, all right, there is some instability with your life. Okay, before you were left out in the cold. Okay, what I'm hearing here is like that is the end of that cycle. All right, because I'm gonna read this upright, all of this in upright, because there is that how do you say this, as I've said, there are dual images here. It's like this is where you've come from and this is where you are headed. Okay, whereas before, and it's like I feel like it came out in reverse, and I'm hearing this, it came out in reverse because it was more important for me to highlight where you have come from, in this particular, with this particular card, where you've come from, where that's before like the end of this cycle, or like what led you into this healing cycle, was that whether it's in love, whether it's with your opportunities, whether it's with your legacy, whether it's with your career, things that you love, okay, things that you have strived for, like worked hard for, because you cared about it, you gave your attention and your energy to it. But the thing was like, no matter how hard you strive for them, it always just left you like feeling in the cold, like it was never enough, like it was, you know, like it didn't work out. But what I'm hearing here is like with the upright, and you see this, it looks like a moon, not particularly a sun, even though it is like in a tropical, it's like a tropical setting. Today I was going home and I rode the bus from the other side of Paris, because I lived in the west of Paris. So I think it's like from like around Notre Dame. So it's a bus line that goes from Notre Dame to the west of Paris, where PSG would be, like near my house. And I saw the moon was like there. They just raised the Olympic cauldron, because now in Paris, like they have the Olympic cauldron in Tuileries, and they just raised the Olympic cauldron. And I was like, why is there like this circular thing behind us? And I was like, it took me a while to realize that it was the moon as well. And the moon was so big. The moon was so big, and it was like from where I was standing, it was like as big as the the Olympic cauldron. Like it would, like, you know, the Olympic cauldron from last year from the Paris Olympics is like a hot air balloon, and it was like almost as big. If it was like this, it was like the moon was like this. All right. I was like, wow. And I was like, wow. It's just because it also looked the same. Okay. So I think this is, I cannot stress enough how much big changes is going to come in with this new beginning, with this ending that will herald a new beginning. Okay, because like the lunar eclipse is like an ending. Okay, this is that portal. Okay, and things are gonna be moving so fast. Why? Because you see 9 to the 10 of wands, like with the wheel of fortune as well, with the 6 of pentacles, from the 4 of pentacles. You have moved from this, like as I've said, like that kind of holding your hand tight fisted in order to open your hands and like receive. Okay, as I've said, you've been very resilient. You've been holding your ground here, and you've been like holding on. But the thing is, now things are gonna be progressing a lot faster. Okay, somehow it's like, and it's also gonna be the end of summer with the autumn equinox around September 21, 22. And you see the wheel of fortune is turning. You had that gambling thing again, and I'm hearing here, all your gambles, all the risks that you have taken in the past is now going to pay off, because you've stood your ground. You've just worked hard, like you've worked busy as an ant. And sometimes, like with the rider weight as well, like you know, like this is the rider weight image, right? You see how he's like just carrying all these wands, all the product of his willpower, but somehow it was blocking his way. It was blocking where he is going. But now I'm feeling here, okay, that much now has been removed. Okay, and it's all systems go. Okay, anything else, Spirit? This is such a beautiful reading, by the way. I just had that pull to do this reading as soon as I can, and like as soon as I arrived home. All right, and now my headache is clearing, by the way. All right, 7 of swords, and again the moon. All right, 7 of swords, the moon. The moon is what is hidden. Okay, the dream, and it's like also dreams and stuff, and it's like, you know, like the things like people have been duplicitous to you about, it's now going to be revealed, is what I'm hearing here. Okay, the things that are hidden are not going to be revealed. If there are people who have tried to fool you, who have been duplicitous against you, that will now be revealed. Your dreams are a portal at this current time. Okay, your dreams are a current portal at this current time. Okay, anything else from this deck, please? Thank you. Thank you. Queen of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and 7 of Cups. This is Eve's apple, yeah? But I'll tell you a story about Eve as well. but let me just work on this as well. It's like you are now the director of your own life. There are going to be more opportunities that are going to show up for you, and there were options that kind of fooled you into thinking, okay, what is true and what is not. Okay, you have here the Holy Grail here, and it's like you can find, like, it's in a grocery store, but then I feel like things, there is so much treasure to be had in the mundane. Okay, now with the apple, with Adam and Eve, and this might be, I don't know, like, I'm channeling something, but this might be a little bit controversial. Okay, so with the wisdom, like, what did the apple do, right? It was like temptation. It's that knowledge. Okay, but for me, the story of Adam and Eve is actually, it is that when they ate the apple, they removed their reliance on God, and that is why they had to exit from the Garden of Eden. In the Garden of Eden, everything was provided for them. Now, and the thing is, that was the punishment. Okay, that was the punishment, is that we as people have kind of put ourselves away from the grace of God. Like, we have disconnected from source. That is the punishment of the Garden of Eden, and the story of the Garden of Eden. But what did God do in that story as well? He still had guidance for them. You know, they still guided them. But like, that is up to Adam and Eve, and us as humans, if we want to listen to our intuition. Yeah, because that is like the apple, right? Like, that's the symbol of like temptation, blah blah blah. And I feel like they have vilified that sense of pleasure, of like that need, you know. They have vilified this faculty in us, this sense of pleasure in us. But the thing is, that is the pleasure, like that is our intuition telling us where to go, what to do. And the thing is, like, now I feel like Eve, like, we have chosen now to listen to our own, in a way, like, listen to our own counsel, right? Like, because now we understand what was hidden to us. Like, we now understand that we are connected to source. Okay, and that it is something that, you know, like, we have to connect to. Whereas before, like in the Garden of Eden, God would have just told you, okay, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to go. And now, like, you are the sovereign, I'm hearing here. You make your own decisions for you. You now have taken your free will and transmuted it into your power. And like, what I'm hearing here is to use it as God intended for you to use it. Okay? All right, let me see. I don't know what I was talking about there, but like, that was the channeling of the message. Okay, 4 of Cups. That is the universe. That's like being, let me see, Ace of Swords. Okay, the truth, Ace of, and again the King of Pentacles, Justice. All right, as I've said, if you were drowning before, okay, you don't know which direction you wanted to take. This is like a scene in an airport. Okay, this is a scene in an airport. Everyone is going whichever way, and it can feel like, with this earth right now, everyone is just going whichever way, and it's like, where do you personally have to go? But now it's like, what I'm hearing here is the universe has heard your prayers and it is now answered, and you are now coming up to the surface, is what I'm hearing here. Okay, justice is now going to be served, and as I've said, a lot of new beginnings are going to come in for you. You have the Ace of Pentacles. You have 3 aces here. Okay, you have 3 aces up your sleeve. Okay, you have the willpower, you have the idea coming in from the ethers. You have the willpower to do the actions that you to do the actions and to act on the actions, to respond to the stimulus that you need to take in order to build on opportunities, in order to receive opportunities, in order to receive that which you have been trying to manifest and to make it solid. And it was like you have from the aces to the King of Pentacles. This is coming in full circle. Queen of Wands here is like you have directed your own life. You have worked internally on yourself in order to understand your own will, your own willpower. This is like, where was it? Like with the 7 of Cups, this is the choice that you made. Like this is being sovereign over your own life. And now it's like you are understanding you are the director of your own life. And this is when the beginning starts. Like you now have accepted, and maybe it can be a burden, you know, because like nothing comes easy or like obviously easy, but like it might seem like a burden, like ruling, because like that means like responsibility for you, and you are now responsible for your own life, but you are now the sovereign of your own life, is what I'm hearing here. When Eve took the apple, they have now become responsible for themselves. Okay, they have now become responsible for their own choices. That is what I'm hearing here. And the thing is, you have the 4 of Cups, which is the card wherein the universe offers something to you normally, like in the Rider-Waite Tarot. And the thing is, like, the universe is always there to extend a hand. You just gotta have to choose for it to extend your hand, or like for God to extend his or her hand to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like before, it's like it was automatic, right? But now it's like you now know and you now realize that you are the sovereign of your life. You are responsible for the choices that you make in your life. But the universe is always still here to help you. And in a way, again, coming full circle here with the King of Pentacles. There are things that you can plan, and sure, they work, but there are things that are unknown, where the results are unknown. Either which way, you're able to be balanced. You are able to trust more in the universe, because that is the biggest lesson that we learned in this particular cycle. You're able to trust in the universe, and whether or not like you want to plan, whether or not there's a risk, I feel like there's a balance now, and you are understanding that you have what you need moment to moment. Okay, that is beautiful. That is such a beautiful reading. This is coming to be a very long reading, but this is a special one for the eclipse. Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna do let's see, this is the affirmation deck. Okay, let's see, and then I will tie it up with your angel cards. Okay, again, celebrate little things, gratitude, nourish, and listen quietly, and coming together. Okay, it's that yin and yang. Okay, this is beautiful. Let me just, this came out again, but you know, I trust in divine timing. I upload things when I upload them. Okay, and like even though I film them a little bit in advance, when I upload them is when the right time I need to upload them. But there will be a reading wherein this card came about. Okay, now you're realizing that you need to celebrate the little things. And with the coming together, the yin and the yang, this is like the union of the feminine and the masculine. This can be literal with a divine union, with a divine twin flame union, okay? But this can also be like coming together, being in harmony with all the things that you want. And what did I say? Listen quietly to your own intuition, listen to your body, because it tells you what you need to nourish and how best you need to nourish. And like, you cannot make this up. I did say like nourish before you can flourish, but now you have learned to nourish. You have learned how to listen quietly to your intuition, to your body, to your emotions, more so, and like put a little bit less emphasis on the mind. And now it's that gratitude, because like now you have, it is all coming together. And it might seem very little right now, as like that little seed right now, and even that right now in the current moment, when you celebrate the little things, that is when more comes to you. And now let's just tie this reading up with an angel cards, or a few, depending on what spirits give us. This is such a beautiful reading, and I hope that this reaches the people that it needs to reach. And yeah, this is the ending and a new beginning. Okay, so 1010, it is up to you. Moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy, movement, self-realization, taking action, and unconditional love. It is time to put those long cherished ideas into action. You will soon come into contact with appropriate individuals, circumstances, and resources. Eventually, you will experience joy as well as the brand new opportunities. Trust in the process. I mean, isn't that what we said? That is beautiful. Okay. You cannot make this up. Did you see that fly out? It is up to you. It is up to you. What did I say? Because you have made a choice, right? Like, it's not outsourcing with that Adam and Eve card. And it's like I'm speechless, because like, why, how did it come out like the same deck? It is up to you. So someone is watching over you, good fortune, unforeseen forces, and direction. Even if it seems like you're not making any meaningful progress, things are moving in the right direction. If you see this number, it's a sign that everything will work out in your favor and your dreams will come true soon. Celebrate the little things, right? Like, hey, one last card from this deck, and 2121. Whew. Energy levels: prosperity, harmony, journey, waiting, discipline, exaggeration, the opposite sex. That day you're waiting for will come. Maintain discipline. You're getting closer to your end goal. There's no need to overextend yourself. Again, nourishing. Okay? Guard your energy to remain focused. It will pay off. It's a climb, not an elevator ride. Okay? And again, the void: longing, technology, ambition, genius, forward thinking, stress, and depression. You have more control over your life than you realize. Learn and execute what interests you. Turn things around. It gets better with time. There are plenty of friends to make, so chill out, have fun, and open up. Okay? And I will just draw one more card from this particular angel deck. All right. To wrap it all up. And this one has an actual affirmation. So let's see. Thank you. Well, it gave us 2. 5, flexibility is your forte. When life throws you a curveball, you can easily adapt to new circumstances and find excitement in the unexpected change. Be brave and bold in your endeavors. I am adaptable. And 33, I am expanding. Any positive changes or projects you are considering right now will be worth your while. Expect that your power will manifest and create. To manifest and create will be heightened. And I guess that is it for your reading. Please comment down below you are expanding, and I hope that this reading helped you. Okay. Yeah, I'm speechless. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.